Shalom, shalom, Akiyam. I am the brother Malawan from GMS Suriname. Back with another quick lesson. But first of all, I want to give all praises and honors to Yahweh, Bashim Yahushai, Bashim Wa'arachach Warashal Amad. I want to give double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, men that are worthy of their double honors. And much love and salutations to the brothers out there that are teaching this word in truth and sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth. Shalom, shalom. So today's lesson is going to go about the famine that is coming, the great famine as we may know it. But as we know, there are some people that still believe that this is not going to happen, because of the way food is easy to get now, the way how food is at its cheapest now. Because in some countries, food is one of the most cheap, it's one of the cheapest things to buy. In some countries it's expensive, but in some countries again, it is really cheap. So people think a famine cannot happen, for food is too cheap to buy. In those modern countries. But I will switch over into the Suriname language to show them through the scriptures that cannibalism and the great famine is coming, and that it doesn't take much for humans or for the normal carnal human, the normal carnal man to step over into cannibalism. It doesn't take much to push them over that edge, to make humans cross that line. It doesn't take much. But I'm gonna start with a video here that I found on TikTok. Let's have a listen. Let's see what the man has to say, what happened in South Africa, and then we'll go into the scriptures. But I'm gonna switch off into the Suriname language in my explanation so that my people may understand me better. So shalom, shalom, brother. Nangasadaan na bibigyan ala praise na agrani na amor hiwang sa werkelijke ning volgens abuko na Yahweh in anefu emboy sa werkelijke ning volgens abuko na Yahweh shai. En a quick lesson this today ko abra hongersnood sa ikong ang bigi hongersnood sa omens ma ebrip tak nekong wadiri ka fatak fa nyambung ko puso watara na kanya na wab demora makalaksan fufeni dat diri ka fatak hongersnood no kangkong wat is te makkelijk om te vinden, er is te veel ervan isabito voor hongersnood kangkong. Maar mosuro via de scripture na nga mosuro nang bepaalde gevallen sa in de scripture na nga sa amadis abiftaki mosor unu fantak anetik furu voor hongersnood kong en mosoro moro fantak anetik furu kiwa libisma fu stappen over gua cannibalisme isabito anetik furu fu de ma stappen over gua datsi isabito of tete fu de ma go bigi consider dati isabito fu de ma ko bigi consider cannibalisme isabito mako arki luku sama dis abiftaki fos abrawa sam sa in South Africa. Now we'll go in the scriptures bakadan.
Holy, a horrific story is coming out of South Africa today with reports saying that trapped illegal miners were forced to resort to cannibalism after police on the surface blocked their food and water, leaving them to starve. Now you might be wondering why the hell would police do that? But it's a little bit more complicated. You see, not many people know this, but South Africa was actually once the world's largest producer of gold. And they were responsible for something like 30% of global production. But over time, rising costs happened, international mining companies were forced to go elsewhere, and it left the country with over 6,000 abandoned mines. Now, the problem arises when you have a huge population of people living in poverty. I think the unemployment rate is like 30-something% now. And then you mix that with all of these abandoned gold mines. And what's happened as a result is the formation of this huge criminal organization. You can think of them as like the mafia. And they essentially take control of these mines and then take money from people who want to go down and search for gold, which, may I add, is illegal in the country, right? They're illegal mining. And these gangs also take a stupid amount of profits from the ones who actually go down there, but that's a separate story. Anyway, illegal mining has been a massive problem in South Africa that police have been trying to crack down on. They lose about 3 billion in revenue each year to illegal mining. Then around August last year, they were trying to close up one of the country's deepest mines in Stilfontein, but there were still thousands of these illegal miners down there. If they came up, they would be arrested and potentially go to prison. But if they stayed down there, police on the surface were cutting off their supply supplies to smoke them out, so they were essentially risking dying. Now, months passed and about 1,300 of them decided to come up eventually, and yes, they were arrested. But as time went on, unions and locals started saying that a lot of these people still down there were not actually refusing to come to the surface. Many of them were actually trapped or too weak to come to the surface, and they needed to be rescued. Finally, authorities were ordered by the court to go down and provide humanitarian aid, and when they got down there, the scenes that they saw were horrific. There were 78 lifeless bodies scattered around these dark tunnels, and the remaining 246 survivors were emaciated and starving. And when they were actually brought to the surface, two of the men told the Telegraph that some of his colleagues resorted to cannibalism, having to cut parts of others' legs, arms, and ribs for sustenance, as it was their only remaining option for survival. The country's second largest trade union called the incident one of the most horrific displays of state willful negligence in recent history. And this is all while the government denies any responsibility, saying that they are criminals who chose to go down there and not come up. Either way, just a wild story that I thought needed to be spoken about.
Where it up? The suburb soldier in South Africa. De man be op lek voor adin serenang. De man be op wang. Om in goudmijn, is abito. Maar door bepaalde omstandigheden, salakia. De biggie bedrijf no be mijnen drape moro. De man gwe, is abito. Maar no the locals is mas abetan drape. De man take advantage of us and that. Is abito. De man fia, is abito one. No amaso runo fantak. Ja, want to crimineel, de man take de main, abra de man take money for the sangane, maar dat ano a point na smagui na main. Na no dide smagui na main. Kelko yeratori, isabito, de man tapa main, and de man cut off a food supply. Isabito, de man cut a food supply off. En bepaalde ding, no be wan kalok tu. Nangatrangan de kilsukuf druk den kalok tu. Door no fusen nyango moro gwa insi. Want tu alok tu, want tu tang. Isabito, want tu no be man kong. Maar fusori van tak aan het voeren van libisma. Stapo over guap cannibalisme. Die dekel kota anyana nga dringi puro. Isabito. Baka want today, want to wikipsa. De man bigishi de man pur de man har kalok tu. De man go onderzoek uit. De man si van tak bepaalde tembe bigi kap makandra nyang futu na nga anu. Yesito. Bepaalde tembe bigi kap makandra nyang futu na nga anu. Tati wan de man beschif nyang. De man no beshi tra uitweg. Trouwens de gewoon. Uno sap na if de man weiger om na siki de man siki uno sabi. Maar u zat ook bepaalde ding. Ang riko zodanig. Dat de bigishi de igi sman nga sabit sa de besaka go sukamoni. De bigishi lek nyang. Isabito. Biki kap den drape. Nya ano na nga futu. Maar mo soru volgens de scripture takasan dis ano wa newsan. En san dis na wasan sapsa sensa bigif thing ba. Libisma. Ano de furo no de fano do fume kwa libisma nya wantra libisma. Isabito. That make them attack hunger na one of the more biggest motivator. Isabito. Angry o make you do furo like libisma. Angry o make you do furo. Angry o gide kaki. Isabito ti bere bigi bari want to walo sot san fume ka abari that gwe. Isabito na mosoro in the scripture. Mogwing Kings, this is the book of 2 Kings, chapter 6. Dat we going nog geval sa beb sa ina fosting. Pwede maambe din one pichi Hongersnood. Dan muli sa beb sa persis. Book of 2 Kings, chapter 6, verse 24. And it came to pass after this, that Ben-Hadad, king of Syria, gathered all his host, and went up and besieged Samaria. And there was a great famine in Samaria. And behold, they besieged it, until an ass head was sold for 80 pieces of silver. Yeshito, wan pigi hongersnood be kon drape. En ina hongersnood be kon so erg, so grofu. Tak wan budiki ede. Be sergi furu money, sabito le be she furu waarde na budiki ede dat. Wat terug wan budiki ede na furu metineng, maar de man be she furu waarde ning, omdat na nyang. Yeshito, be sergi furu money. Budiki ede wang. An ass head was sold for 80 pieces of silver, and the fourth part of a calf's dung for 5 pieces of silver. And doifi pupas ref de man beshi lek nyang. Yeshito. Doifi pupas ref de man beseri lek nyang husma nyang. Zo erg een hongersnood bij Kong. Weet je toch? And as the king of Israel was passing upon the wall, there cried a woman unto him, saying, Help my lord, O king. Weet je toch? And he said, If the Lord do not help thee, when shall I help thee? Out of the barn floor, or out of the winepress? And the king said unto her, What aileth thee? And she answered, This woman said unto me, Give thy son, that we may eat him today, and we will eat my son tomorrow. Yeshita, dus ja afro aan doen aan chirel handel na kuno. Abe sora kuno fatak lukuno. Wishi fa model kontrong isabito. Angere kiru ala mala. Masari kan sa luko sa wadu. Tide wanya you boy isabito kisa boy fi. Da wo bore da wanya men tide. Da tamara wo kisa boy mi. Da wanya mi boy. Yeshito. Well, let's go to the verse 28. So we boiled my son, and did eat him. And I said unto her on the next day, Give thy son, that we may eat him. And she had hid her son. Yeshida, no afro complete chin from. Yeshito. No di de bora boy fa kuno. De nya me moy. Isabito. De nya alasan fa boy. Isabito kasama like this do nya ma boy fa kuno. No da kuno van tak eta maradorog bayara. Pa boy fi de wo bora boy fi you know. Fumanya me gesamelijk baka. Do afro wan ko play for mutak o kibre boy. Fu no was mano nyameng. Yeshito. Weshito. Welis gomoro fara. And it came to pass, when the king heard the words of the woman, that he rent his clothes and passed upon the wall, and the people looked, and behold, he had sackcloth upon his flesh. Weshito, this is what ik bafantag. Cannibalisme ano een nieuwsan. Nasa sa website na fosteng ba. En like fam soru hongersnood ekong, wan biggie hongersnood ekong. Wees je toch, om eens maar kan van het asande kong, want eten is te makkelijk te vinden, is het is verkrijgbaar. Het is alle kanten verkrijgbaar. Dus hongersnood no kan kong, wees je toch. Alla pres de marika tak ay sneeze we kri na alla pres de we sigo taba kasif albia yo fe nom chibroko sneeze we kri dape ser Fernandes bro isabito de ser pakibo to de ser sani association nga di sanga laki de ser black yes wara des fa or so to kong isabito alla pres sneeze we kri de fini maar des mano sa fantak if mo moro yi wan was an musup sa to o creer wa model fa sa nipsa we de shifa tak te dan school fit be na asan dis kompsa. Dus ik na omes maar bezoeken vind model boro gwa we kri so of baisani. Di ubedi na lockdown. Une siya model. If amore wa bota spirit tap ESAU food truck ala fu pot wa full lockdown tak no as man no go no pres if you waka strati de kele suti trowe. Ikabi gistel of tak wa Hongersnood bokong. Want nya no bo defeni. Ben wa wiki inya ala sansa dina osokba. Tangalang inespanga de kela strat ni want het is nu of je de in igi oso of je tek wan kans je go sukanya de kel suditro het is off en de meeste smou tek kans fugwa dorosi want a kans de ete fatak de kel noshi yeshito ala model de sa was ku fenanya tangalang de bobiki nyande igi ching yeshito dus Hongersnood ano wan niusan sa dina buku ano wan niusan sa ifsa taka kronta puja o men presi na buka skrifa tak libis magba isabito ano waniusan anya libis masirif sa apalos tu kita libis ma ya bapado wet masirif sa apalos tu dat wish ito ano waniusan wish ito and now of the reader side in Freda moro hiwang mo kami kibir man nyami hon isabito tenos Hongersnood no queen oso kapi isabito chip nyami ay bas pari kapi de tapasoro bakat nyama pisa kapu tamare kapon trapis puro. So may kami tinopori wan eskas no de. No ple ang amoro iwang. Amo yung kakiri in ini sort model. Amo yung kaput freeze in your ati ini sort model. Isabito amo yung asa fair judge people. Isabito amo yung na great judge. Isabito. Mamagay yung transcription. So rufan tak family werkelijk ekong. Kom look some shit on the limitations. Ay. Jambo soro fantak. Hongersnood na. Nawasan sa wreed moro. Dede. Yeshito. Fudong ya droge uit ko is king en begin ya mes refi. Dat erg moro tele kwama long kapi of ama suti de bam. Isabito, want dan na quick death, isabito, dam na kung ide de igwe blam iklari. Isa ma hongersnood na wasan kayo dong yo pina isking o pina o nyame serefi o bro ala reserva fatu. Bakal to babigi bro de spira yo droge. Isabito. Hongersnood na ang of san. Isabito. Sa Book of Lamentations chapter 4 verse 9. They that be slain with the sword are better than they that be slain with hunger. For these pine away, stricken through for want of the fruits of the field. Isabi to. Yung kasi de hongersnood, de dati pina, de dona de pina, sabi to. Itenki so nyang nga de frukto sa nina busi, sabi to. So sananday ede, nyang nga dringi. Mar uno forgitak hongersnood ekong. Isabi to, mapaldo kondi of de grofo moro trawang. Isabi to, ano ala presoda sem grofo. Terus namori ang sa fawaw setting. Isabi to, namori ang sa fo setting. Isabi to, hongersnood, ang bigi hongersnood ekong. Ang bigi hongersnood ekong uno forgiti. Mar uno leg bribiwang, isabi to, muli so scripture uno. Gi uno leg bribiwang, isabi to. Uno nang frede de sotsani si. Tisap tak ida na si famoro iwang, ina frede de sotsani si. Isabi to, muli so scripture gi uno. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 37, verse 19. Isabi to, this is the book of Psalms, chapter 37, verse 19. O begin na 18. The Lord knoweth the days of the upright, and their inheritance shall be forever. Isabi to. Mori ang sap sa wesedya. Isabi to. Sap ulang ang wali bisap alasan. Isabi to, mulis kodoro. Verse 19. They shall not be ashamed in the evil time. Okay, done. And in the days of famine, they shall be satisfied. Isabi to. In the time for hongersnood, uno bere o furu. Isabi to. Taras may kill den sref e nyan den sref. Angry. Uno bere o furu. Isabi to. Uno epot utros na nga faith in Yahweh. Pakashin Yahweh siya. Isabi to. Uno etros inamoro hiwang na nga sa moro hiwang esit puti. Isabi, that will make une frede de san segwa kuron tapo. Uno saptak na father is en kong. And uno na asifu father ude. Uno di na opposition. Isabi to. Uno na frede de san that. Uno na bautap no ang wait man ang ano ang government. Isabi to. Uno na wakti de man that fu setu kong of fu ye puno. Of fu provide food na nga dringi. Isabi to. Uno na moro hiwang we wakti. Fu provide de sot san dati. That make uno na frede sa ESAU wandu. Wan alasan sa ESAU ito na moro hiwang imapal and na moro hiwang make ESAU do. Isabi na mo yung epon the spirit of ESAU who set the sun dati. Isabi to. And if you could like papot the spirit of ESAU who set so wasan. Amo na yung kasakawa spirit ka gurong tapo. Who protect you na nga who provide for you. Isabi to. That make uno like bribiwang no frede de lolo san dati. Isabi to na father set son. Agado insa uno e bribi set son. Isabi to. And uno e bribi takakado that o protect uno na nga provide gi uno. Isabi to. I want to give all praises and honors to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai, Bahashim Rekakwata Shal Amat. Shalom.